Welcome back to Good Morning La Land. We are live in Los Angeles with Jamie Anderson. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank
You are an incredible filmmaker, award-winning director, writer, like one of the top, 25 writers to watch this year?
Thank you.
Ooh, incredible.
No,
Wow.
Thank you, because you are creating such entertainment that is not only inspiring, but it's empowering, it's enlightening, it's entertaining, and it's igniting a conversation really about what's happening in our time right now with masculinity and femininity.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's all coming through in the work that you're creating.
And the Me Too movement.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So tell us about your journey.
Well, the film that I shot last year is called Punching Bag, and I actually wrote it before the Me Too movement, but it was inspired because I was having a conversation with a male friend of mine, and he said, I feel like a punching bag right now. Mm-hmm. And so the climate was kind of already happening. And he was talking about how he's one of the good guys, you know, and we don't really talk about the good guys, and so that's kind of where the whole idea started, from, you know, kind of thinking about, okay, what is that conversation, you know, about like what our society deems as masculine and feminine, and the kind of confusion that's happening right now.
Well, I really want to dive deep into this conversation, but let's take a look at the trailer for Punching Bag.
Want to squirt in your eye. So deep, you're blind. My pet name for you is One Eye. Blinded by the power of my seed. Ladies!
Do you feel threatened by Stacy?
Not really. My ex didn't stutter.
I smell trauma. Ah! Welcome back to Douchebag Defense.
It's not about getting laid. I just really want to connect with someone.
Showtime.
Hi, Fatty.
I can feel myself for the first time.
We should go out sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
I just see us really getting along.
Girl, me too.
God, he didn't give you my abs.
You were born fat.
What?
Nothing.
I'm gonna cut your fucking dick off! Ah! I hate you!
Ah! I thought I could save you.
I thought you were gay.
Empty shell I used to be. Shadow of my life is hanging over me. A broken man.
That is so hilarious.
Hilarious.
I love the logline for the film and it being about a lonely romantic man who actually becomes the punching bag, quite literally, for these disillusioned women. And I feel bad because I think this is the case for so many men.
Yes, yes. I wanted to explore the other side of the conversation, and that's not to say that the Me Too movement is it's been completely necessary, but I do think it was important to talk about, you know, how some men are feeling as well.
Well, and laugh about it too.
Yes, I mean, it's clearly a comedy.
It's a dark comedic take on
Yes,
the situation,
yes,
but it is good to be able to have a laugh about it.
Yeah.
Right. So what was it like for you when the Me Too movement came out? Being in Hollywood, you've been here around a lot. What's your experience around it?
I have I have a different experience in terms of I did go through all of that in, you know, my 20s and had, you know, all kinds of things I would say happen, but again, it was a different time. So I had to learn from my experience and become, you know, get therapy and become empowered myself and do tons of self-work. So I really tried to change that victim consciousness into something empowering to learn from and to become better and in essence, it was actually what spawned my spiritual path. You know, it made me just keep digging deeper, how I could be a better person. And I will say that it made me incredibly compassionate, and it definitely made me a person that wants to help people, love connecting people, love helping young women who are just starting out in the business as well as men.
Right.
I
It's,
mean,
it's an interesting dance between how do you acknowledge a movement that was really for minority women of, sexual harassment and things going on, and then how do we also get out of the victim mentality? And it's a
Yeah.
real dance, and I think it's a real touchy thing, and I try and just it's different for every person, and I don't feel like I can totally have an opinion on it, quite frankly, because I just feel like it's unique for each person. And I get that some men might feel like punching bags, but I think it's a different conversation, and it disacknowledges the Me Too movement in some ways, so it's like a real delicate topic for so many people.
Yeah, I completely understand that, and I feel a little differently as a man and as a human being. I absolutely love the work that you're doing for a number of reasons. One, you're allowing a sort of deeper, broader, fuller conversation that's much more holistic. You've also set a very strong intention within the context of comedy for healthy, happy, harmonious relationships.
yes.
And I think at the end of the day, that's the one thing that both men and women are really wanting, is they're wanting healthy, harmonious, positive, loving, happy relationships with each other at the end of the day. And so I don't think it's possible to have that conversation without having this conversation.
For sure.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you get that, because one of the messages of Punching Bag is that this man thinks that by being their punching bag, he will save them. And the point is that we can't save anyone. We have to save ourselves. And once we become whole, then we have a real chance at love.
Absolutely.
And so many men and women do that in their relationships too.
Yeah.
Like they accept the punches and they think that will fix them.
Right.
I can take this. And if I take this for you, then you will love me.
Right, exactly.
I love that. It's such a great paradox of life, We've got to take the punches, but no, we're not.
Yeah, and it does turn the entire sort of concept and notion of love on its head, because we often have this idea that love is self-sacrifice.
Yes.
And that's really, really problematic, because it invites, of course, all kinds of punching bag experiences in your life as a man or as a woman.
Right.
And so to be able to turn that around and realize that it's all about love, and sometimes it means loving people out there in the world, but it always means loving yourself foremost, first and foremost. And it's never about hate.
Right.
I think that for me is the core of the message there.
Right.
Just love.
Well,
Yeah.
You have such a wealth of material and comedy. You have a knack for turning the painful into the absurd with so much heart. Tell us a little bit about your background, where you're from. I read in your bio, the Redneck Riviera. And I love that. What is that?
I am originally from the South, and I think I got some good stuff from there. But also, there are a lot of hypocrisies, I will say, and it made me run, want to run like Forrest Gump.
Where are you running from?
At that time, and there still is, but at that time there was quite a bit of racism still around, and I was I think a sensitive child. I didn't quite understand it, and so I think that is one of the reasons why I became an artist. Because I wanted to express things that were being so repressed. And that's so much of the South. It's like, shove it under the carpet. Let's not talk about it.
But from the South to LaLa Land.
Yes.
What's that been like for you as a woman director, filmmaker? That's not an easy task.
I think when you're younger, you feel like you can do anything, which is great. And when you get older, you're like, oh, wow, I was really brave. But yeah, I came out here originally as a 19 and was acting then, and then made my way.
I love that.
Yeah.
So today we're talking a lot about inspiration. Clearly, you're a major inspiration. Your life must inspire you. Who's inspired you along the way, or what's inspired you?
Oh, it's a good question. I think I have amazing female friends. First of all, really incredible friends. I've friends for 20 years here. And then I also have incredible men in my life, and I'm so grateful for that. Men who've been mentors, and even on, for example, Punching Bag, my director of photography, John T. Connor, amazing man. My crew made up of women and men, and again, when people talk about female filmmaker, I think that's amazing. But I also like to say #men are awesome too, because I don't want to say that, I want to give value to all the wonderful human beings, in my life.
Community is everything. We say we're hashtag community powered here at Focus TV with the magazine. You have so many projects in development right now.
Thank you. Yeah. It's been. I mean.
No, thank you. I mean, features, short films, and the one that really resonated with me is one of your latest shorts about life in suburbia. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I just shot that 3 weeks ago, I think it was. It's been a whirlwind. It's called I'm Effing Fine. And
I think it's called I'm Fine. That is the moment. Like, when I read that, I was like, life in suburbia. I just see all of the women like on the anxiety pills, whatever.
That's right. That's right.
Okay?
That's
We got
right.
it together.
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah. It's suburbia. This place called Paradise. But paradise is a euphemism for this elusive place that like everyone's trying to get, and it's really there's an undercurrent of sort of a social commentary about how no one is fine, and you know it's like someone looking at someone say like Anthony Bourdain, you know, who looks to have it all and then is really struggling inside, and so even though it's about this woman who's struggling in this kind of confined, repressed community, it could be anyone, and you know, she's trying to reawaken and rediscover herself, but amidst everyone trying to tell her, "You're okay." She's like, "I'm not okay," you know. So
it's really interesting when you try and learn and become self-aware, and you're in a golden cage, if you will.
Yes, right, and that is kind of what this film is also about.
And so many people, whether you're in suburbia or whether you're in Los Angeles, your expectations of yourself are what create this cage, right? Wherever you might be. I felt sometimes the expectations, even in suburbia, were worse or harder for me to deal with personally than the expectations I put on myself here in Los Angeles.
So
in LA, I felt like my cage was a little bigger. I was a little freer, right?
Yeah.
In the way I felt back there.
Yeah. The gal that stars in it is this gal named Bree Turner, and she's also been one of my best friends for like 20 years. But I wrote it and I said, you have to play this. There's no one else that can play this like you. And there's some dance numbers in it, which is nice. You guys like to dance, and that was really exciting because I think dance is a great way to kind of reawaken your body, you know.
So true. So what now? We have all these things going on. You've had great success. Where do you see it all going? What's your true mission with all this?
Well, next I hope to direct a feature, and I have a couple features in development as a writer. So I'm championing myself to direct one of them.
I am championing for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Jamie.
Thank you. And I just want to keep making films that ask us to dig deeper and ask the tough questions.
I love it. Such a great job of bringing comedy and enlightenment together. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Tell everyone where they can follow you and find your films.
You can follow me at Jamie Anderson Film on Instagram, Jamie Anderson Film on Facebook, Jamie Anderson 5 on Twitter. There's so many Jamie Andersons.
But only one.
You are the one and only. Well, thank you, Jamie, for being here. We really appreciate it.
We'll be right back.
Thank you so